Hi, Leos. So this is going to be your mid-month September reading. So this is going to be from the 15th to the 30th. We're going to see what's going on. I don't know about you guys, but starting last weekend, I don't know, maybe Friday or so, things just kind of got tough. Energies are really whacked out these days, and how things were going made a sudden shift in my life. I don't know if that has happened to everybody else, but we're going to see what the second half of September looks like for you guys. So in case you are new to my channel, I'm Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot, and first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay down 4 or 5 just regular tarot cards just to kind of get the energy of, there's the first one, get the energy of, that's too many, of the second half of the month. And then I have several different decks that I'm going to clarify with some mixed emotions, and if this is work related or romance related or whatever I feel like is coming out, then I'll use specific clarifying decks. Oh, come on. So let's see what we got here. And then we got, I'm taking that one. So far, the Star card and the 4 of Swords. Man, I want this one and this one and this one. Okay. Okay, so the first one that came up was the 4 of Swords, and that just is telling me that there is some negative thoughts, or you're stuck about something. You must have some sort of a decision to make, but at this point in time, you're still gathering the information and you haven't decided what you want to do. This one is the Star card in reverse. And normally if that was not in reverse, I would say that it was illuminating some things that may or may not be negative. But since it was in the reverse, I feel like it is saying that there's still some secrets out there that have yet to be told to you or revealed to you. And it feels to me like you know that there's something going on. You feel like something fishy is going on, but you just haven't quite figured out what it is. It's like you know in your gut something is not right, and you are in the information gathering stage to try to figure out what to do, how to handle it, how to make that decision. And I am not a Leo whatsoever, but that is totally kind of what's going on in my life. So the second, or the next card, was the 8 of Cups. And he's just kind of sitting there or standing there looking out, and like a little dog. I don't know, all of his cups are spilled over. So the emotions are just kind of all over the place. One day you're good, one day you're bad. And actually, if you are kind of like that right now, where you're feeling one day is good, one day is bad, you're feeling a little bipolar, that may or may not have anything to do with your actual situation. That could just be the energies that are going on right now. I've kind of had that going on myself, because it's just, there's just a lot of stuff going on. The hurricane's getting ready to land, and I think the collective conscious is torn, and kind of stressed out about that whole thing, and I feel like that's kind of affecting me. So yeah, even though I'm not a Leo, this appears that it could be my own reading. I'm a Libra Sun, Capricorn Ascending, and Moon is Sagittarius. Okay, so next one is the 4 of Pentacles. This was in the reverse. If it was in the upright, you would have been hanging on to your money, but in this case, I feel like it was telling me that you've got money just going out right and left. That could be stressing you out too. And it doesn't necessarily mean anything bad is going on, but for some reason it feels like I'm hearing like major appliances. So it feels like some of you have been hit hard with like your washer and dryer or your refrigerator or something with major appliances that have hit, and you've had to fork out a bunch of money that you weren't anticipating. So it kind of put a crunch on your budget right now. And that's, you know, instead of you hanging on to your money like you like to do, it's like it's just pouring out the window. And I feel like it has to do with major appliances. That's odd that that's what's coming to me. And then this was the devil in reverse. And so the devil is usually has to do with codependency or addictions or something like that. But since it was in the reverse position, I would have to think that that is someone is releasing some addictions, which is good. And that could also apply to this up, down, back and forth feeling that you're having. Because if you are trying to give up something, maybe you're giving up sugar, or maybe you're giving up caffeine and you're having some withdrawal symptoms. Perhaps that is kind of playing with your mood. I know that when I gave up sugar, or anytime I've tried to give up coffee, you know, I mean, depending on how you try to do it, if you try to do it cold turkey, it just makes you a bitch. And you are cranky and you don't feel good and you have no energy. So if that is the case, that's going to pass, and just drink a bunch of water, or detox slowly instead of trying to do it all at one time. But you know what's best for you, so do what you need to do. Okay, so the overall energy of this reading is nothing regarding love. I don't feel like it's anything to do with work, and usually work and love are the two that come up. This just feels like it has to do with a lot of up and down bipolar emotions that are kind of whacking you out and making you off your game, I guess is the best way to put that. So I have this deck. I've not used it yet, except on these mid-month readings, and it's called Mixed Emotions. So, since this is a very emotional second half of the month, let's see what this says about your emotions, and see if we can get some clarity on what is going on with that. And yeah, because like if any of this had to do with love or anything, I would be using the romance angels, but this doesn't feel like it has to do with love whatsoever. This just feels like you're out of whack, out of balance, not feeling your best, and there's several things that are causing it. Some withdrawal from some, okay, let's keep that one. Let's keep these two. Withdrawals from something, and some money going out the window that's got you a little freaked out because you weren't anticipating that and you're feeling the crunch. And if any of you guys are parents with kids, you probably have been forking out money right and left for kids' school and stuff. And that, I know that can get stressful when you're, you know, it ebbs and flows. Just like money comes and goes, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes you have more, sometimes you have less. And let's do that one. Okay, so we've got creative, imaginative, inventive, and expressive. Gosh, these are kind of all... Well, that makes sense. Your emotions are all over the place. These emotions are all over the place. Creative. Okay, let's see. I feel like it's going along with the star card, and you're trying to get creative about this decision or this discussion that you need to have with whoever. I don't know. That's just the feeling of getting creative, like how to do it, how to make this decision so it works out for the best. But you're also afraid at the same time because it's not something, it's not going to be an easy conversation or an easy decision, and you're just a little fearful about how that's going to happen. Frightened, fearful, and scared. Mad, furious, and enraged. That to me feels like that has to do with the money going out the window that you were not expecting. So it feels like the reason that perhaps you had to go buy a new washer, dryer, refrigerator, or whatever had to do with someone being careless, and it didn't have to do with it just was old and died. Or maybe you had to go buy a new car, or maybe you were in a car accident or something, so it's going to cost you a bunch of money for the deductible. That also just came to me. So whatever the case is, it feels like that this was not your fault. It wasn't that it just aged out and died on you, but it was helped along. The dying process was helped along by somebody else out of your control, and that has got you really pissed off. That's what that feels like. This, oddly enough, and for some reason I'm going to keep this in the reverse position. The shy card was in the reverse position, and it says timid, introverted, and reserved. But since this was in the reverse position, I'm going to say you are not being shy about your feelings. You are letting whoever did that to you have it, and you are not, no holds barred, no bar, heart. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't even spit that out. And I feel like this is saying to be compassionate, empathetic, caring, and sympathetic, that whoever did this did not do it on purpose. Like right now, it's like I feel like I'm seeing a little old gray lady that ran into your car or something. And she's frail, and she's the one that caused the damage. It was her fault. But whatever the case is, you be compassionate. She didn't do it on purpose. Whoever broke your washer and dryer or the refrigerator or whatever, yes, they were being careless, and it is their fault. Accidents happen, but you going off the deep end about it isn't going to make things any better, is the feeling I have about this whole thing. So let's keep going and see what... This is an interesting reading. I've never had anything like this. This is, which ones do I want to use? I think I'm going to use, no, sorry. I'm trying to decide which ones I want to use. I like these, work your light oracles, because right now I feel like you could use a little light in your life. It's been kind of a shitty, I'm going to say the last few days has been shitty. Yesterday I went to the dental school to get my teeth cleaned. I had a bad night starting about 10 o'clock the night before. Me and my dude got into it, and I didn't sleep pretty much all night. I had to go to the dental school to get my teeth cleaned. I got down there, and I was already in a pissy mood. And I got down there, and they had moved the dental clinic from where it was last year when I was there and moved it back to the main dental clinic, but nobody bothered to tell me that. So fortunately, I was way, way, way early and got there only to realize that the doors were locked, and it didn't look like anybody was coming back. And I had to chase somebody down and ask him, I'm like, does this make sense that these are locked, like, for lunch, because they would have a break between noon and 1:30. My appointment was at 1:30. And so we went and asked, and I got informed that they had moved it clear over on the other side of campus. Well, you can't walk that far. You have to drive. And so it cost me $5 to get out of the parking garage when I was there for 5 or 10 minutes. And so, yeah, it was just kind of like insult added to injury after the rotten night that I had. And I feel like that's what's going on with this whole reading. But that being said, I'm like, I don't think that's my energy, because I have kind of cleared that out today. And so I feel like this is definitely Leo's energy. They just happen to be having a shitty week like a lot of other people that I've talked to. So we're going to keep this one. The Ever Unfolding Rose. It's happening for you, not to you. And we're going to keep these two. Okay, so trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? I feel like that has to do with the decision that you have to make. And it has something to do with, it's like you, like I said, you found out some information and you're trying to figure out how to handle that. Some red flags came up, and you're trying to get creative about how to have this conversation or make this decision, whether it's breaking up with somebody or ending a job. I don't know, whatever the case is. But trust, man, my nose itches all of a sudden. Trust that feeling, your gut feeling, whatever's going on there. And then it says, align your life. What is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? I feel like that goes along with the angry and afraid one. You had been doing really, really good, and you kind of got off balance when all hell broke loose this week. And so that's why you're kind of up and down and back and forth. No, it's a passing phase. You didn't backtrack. And I just believe it's more to do with the energy that's in the air than really what's going on with you. So don't be so hard on yourself, I guess is what I need to say there. How are we doing on time? 16 minutes. Let's do some ascension. I like these angel cards. See if the angels, your guides, or anybody else has any words of wisdom to help you get through this rather crappy second half of September, or whatever's going on mid-month. This may have actually started earlier than the 15th for you, even though it's supposed to have been. If it hasn't started, it's going to, but I feel like it has creeped in and started actually last week. It says, you are ascending. Oh, yeah. That goes along with these energies that I was talking about. There's a whole... If you guys don't watch Aluna Ash, I love her. You know, a lot of people watch the weather report when they get up in the morning. I do right now because I watch the stuff on the hurricane. But I watch the energy report, and I actually have it in my calendar on days where she says we're getting like a major energy surge on this day, and this day, or we've got a solar flare coming. I also put Mercury retrograde in my calendar because those affect communication, that affects technology. And so when things are out of whack, and I know there's a reason for it, it makes me feel better, and it makes me not lose my mind so much. One of the other things that she said is going on is there's some sort of geomagnetic stuff that's happening, and that every day it's like the sun is supercharging the moon, and so it's like we're having a full moon effect on us like every day, and we're not even in full moon right now. So that's, I find that really interesting, because one of my girlfriends said, man, I think she's right. She goes, I could not sleep at all last night, and my sleep habits have been kind of off lately. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning. Now I went to bed really early last night, but so if you're feeling out of whack right now, watch Aluna Ash. She has some really good explanations of why you're going through it, and it's ascension symptoms more than anything, and it's energy, and it all has to do with raising your vibrations, and it's too much stuff to explain during a reading, but let's get a couple of more of these. I can guide you where you need to go, but I am by no means, no way, an expert. I've just been through it myself lately. Okay, 2 more cards. Relax and allow light in. So that makes sense with the rest of the reading. Just take a chill pill. It's going to be okay. It's not just you. Everybody's going through this, and if they're not, they either have already gone through it or they will be going through it. Nobody's going to get out of this alive, trust me. And the other one says the flow of abundance. So while money is going out the window like crazy, it doesn't mean that it's going to continue to go out the window. This is just a short-term thing, so just take it easy. And if you know anything about manifesting, ask the universe to replace that money as quickly as possible, especially if it's leaving you extra tight. So, Leo, this is your second half of September reading. Again, I'm Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot, and if you have any questions or comments or likes, or please subscribe or whatever you want to do. My email is jojoleanne@gmail.com, jojoleanne. And if you want a personal reading that might have something more to do with your specific situation, I would be happy to do that for you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.